Time for another garden update, because a lot's been growing. So my poor passion fruit got some kind of blight, or it's like a fungus or something that's affected the fruit, and of course it's spread to all the different vines. But I have been getting fruit off it, and it is edible, so I've been getting quite a few passion fruit. I might be able to treat it, but the trunks of these are starting to look a bit funny, so I'm not sure if these are going to recover very well, or if that's what they normally look like. It doesn't seem very good. And looks like we'll get lots of grapefruit this year, which is good. This is the first year we've had fruit on this, but it's doing pretty well. Put fertilizer around it, around the drip line. The asparagus is finished, of course, but once this all starts going brown, I'll cut it all back and then leave it for next year. We seem to have, I think that's a little pumpkin, and lots of cherry tomatoes. We also had corn, which we ended up eating all of that. We've frozen some of it. Lots of tomatoes, but the birds get to those as well. We've probably got courgettes. Yeah, there's a couple there, which I need to pick before they turn into marrows. And we've got pumpkins. There's one there. Here's another one that head gardener accidentally cut off, but we think it'll be okay. So that's a fairly decent sized pumpkin. Might need to take that inside soon. I think there might be some more in there. There's that one down there. And then there were another couple. One under there, one here. I'm guessing those are more pumpkins coming. Over here we've just trimmed a few things back because everything's growing so well. And then new limes are coming. This tree always seems to do really well. That lemon tree was originally here. It's a little bit stunted, I think, but it's doing okay. The mandarin as well is a little bit stunted, but seems to be coming back. And then more cherry tomatoes. Our avocado seems to be doing pretty well. We've got quite a bit of fruit on it. That's the original one that was there. I'm not sure how long they take to become ripe. It's been on there for ages. There's more there. So that's doing really well. Various things down here. Capsicum. This one's got a few on it, so I need to pick some of those. This one here is doing really well. Oh, there's a yellow one. It's the first yellow one I've seen. Of course, the colour is just how ripe they are, I think. So the longer you leave them, the yellower they get. But this one's been really good. We've got heaps on it, and I just eat those like fruit. I was just doing the weed eating, and the head of the weed eater came off, and so the little brass rings that the cable comes through went flying. So I need to get replacements. I managed to find one of them, but I don't know where the other one's gone. And of course the thing's spinning, so it's just flung off into the hedge, I think it went, which means I won't ever find that again. Everything's growing up nicely. We'll come back to that. This little garden here is doing well. So we both last year just sprinkled random seeds around, random gourd seeds from the gourd birdhouses I made. I just threw a lot of them all around the edges of the property. This one has gone mental, so you can probably see giant bottle gourds in there, plenty of them there. If you look from outside, there's just loads of them. So, and they're pretty impressively big, these as well. So I'm going to dry those when they're ready. I might put them in my new little shed actually. That'll be a good place to dry them, I think. I've got more things here. I think this one's a pumpkin. So we've got a big pumpkin there. There's another one there somewhere. I think there might be more. I'll put another one up there. There's another one down there. So that's really good. These are the Paulownia tree, the trees we had cut down, and they just keep coming back. So it's very sort of soft wood. So I just sort of rip them up. I think this is a choco. Haven't seen anything growing on it yet. This one here as well. My little chili tree still seems to have things on it. So this is all growing up nicely. You can barely see my new shed behind there, which is good. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of gourds. I need to remember when you're supposed to harvest them. I think it's when all the leaves die off, which it looks like they're starting to do now, so I should be able to harvest those soon. I always get worried someone's going to come and pinch some of them, just because people are pretty awful, but no trouble so far. Sunflowers, they're finished now, although there are new ones coming up. Another pumpkin. There's a few in here actually, I hadn't even noticed these ones. So, more pumpkins. Old Nutty, the walnut tree, is doing really well. So he's started to get big. This is gherkins. Every so often, so we come and we try to get them when they're small and we're pickling them. And there's one there. Every so often you miss one and you come out a few days later and there'll be a giant cucumber there. There's these things that I'm not even sure we know what they are. This is the problem with planting random seeds. I think it's some kind of pumpkin. There's quite a few of those. I need to look up when you're meant to harvest those. Around here, this is our new water tank. So it's a IBC container. They come in these metal cages, and we just bought an extra plastic pallet to put it on. It's got a sort of garden tap adapter, and I'm going to cover this with some sort of tarp to keep the UV off it. Stops the water going mouldy. And what I'm going to do is I have a diverter that will go on this pipe here. I'm just going to make a little wooden stand kind of thing, and I'm just going to run the pipe down behind this shed into that water tank. That'll give us an extra 1,000 litres for watering the garden. This is my new little shed just for storing old car parts in. There's nothing valuable in here. It's stuff that I don't want to throw out because I may need it at some point, but it's of no value to anyone else. So it's fairly safe out here. And around the back here, this is our pile of stuff to take to the tip. We'll have to do a trip at some point. Down here, this area used to get really wet, just in here. I was worried that something was leaking, the water tanks or things, but I think it's actually that this is just a natural low spot, and when it rained really heavily, water would pool here. So actually at the tip shop last time I went there, or one of the times I went there, I got a piece of drain flow pipe and I dug a trench that kind of went from here and along. You can see the end of it. And I laid the drain flow in. It was only long enough to get to there, but I think that's far enough. And every time we go to the beach, I bring back a bucket full of stones, which you're allowed to do. they call it harvesting. You're allowed to take, you can take what you can carry by hand, basically. So yeah, we'll do trips to the beach, come back with a bucket of stones, and I've been using that to build out this drain. I'll finish it off along there. That pipe there, that's the inlet pipe for this water tank. So that's the water that comes off Big Shed. So it comes down there and goes along here somewhere into this tank. This was more random gourds, I guess. I've been waiting to see what this one was, but looks like a gourd to me. This garden's doing well. I had quite a lot of apple cucumbers off here, but now we've got more little pumpkin things. Squash or pumpkins. I don't know what the difference is actually. Then remains of swan plants. We've had lots of monarch butterflies around. There's one there. And they've kind of decimated those plants, of course. I think that's a swan plant there, and that one seems to be fairly intact. Here's another swan plant. There's a caterpillar. See them? Little monarch caterpillars. Feijoas, we're starting to get some of them now, which is nice. I think these take ages to grow and become actual trees or actual bushes. They always kind of look kind of straggly, I think, for quite a few years. Some poppies. Similar with our guava, little guava bushes. They're still small. This one has fruit on it, which is nice. There's another one here. In there somewhere there are currants. I can't remember which ones they are. Oh, there's weeds everywhere at the moment. This nightshade just gets everywhere. So I think both of us just pull it up whenever we see it, but it's almost impossible to keep on top of it. Lots of bees, bumblebees. Bumblebees love the sunflowers. You can see the crawling around. More plants. Old Truman sapote there seems to be sprouting again. Very strange little tree. Another giant sunflower. And we're just letting the seeds fall around the place. More flowers and things here. We did have a few plums, not too many, because the trees ended up getting bugs. We've treated them, so hopefully next year they'll be better. Didn't get almost any off there, but we got a few off that one. They were quite nice. Lots of flowers. Millions of butterflies, white butterflies. The apple tree, this seems to be doing well. I did find an apple that had fallen off today, so I'll have to try eating that and see what that's like. Almond tree is doing well. There's fruit on that. There's nuts on that, I guess. I don't know if there are actually any nuts there. There's one of the gourds from last year. And the grapes. So the grapes are doing really well. I don't know if these bags do anything. I haven't seen birds on there eating them, so maybe the white bags just keep the birds away, but these are ripening up nicely. It's very hot at the moment, so they're warm. And so those are sort of black grapes, and then these ones are white, and I didn't realize that these were actually ripe. So these ones are really nice and quite sweet. So those are the grapes. There's Milo. Hello Milo. Are you going to help? Come on. This one's the pear tree. This also has nice fruit on it. See the pears there. I think this is a grafted one, so there's two varieties on it. Trying to keep these little hedges trimmed a bit better now. Now they're bigger. And this garden's getting a little overgrown. Got this roses. But it's sort of filling out all really nicely. Taken down the shade cloth over the ferns. So probably pull these out actually and reuse them somewhere. But they're quite well established now. There's a cat. And lots of horses next door, of course. And yeah, the flax and things are all growing up really nicely and sort of hiding the other houses, and the neighbour over there with the wood thing, firewood job, I guess. It's quite a nice day at the moment. We need a couple of good days in the weekend so that we can water blast and then restain the decks. That's going to be our job for the weekend. Oh, and I have to order more firewood, which I keep putting off because we can't get the truck all the way down here to deliver it, so they have to deliver it up in the garden somewhere, and then I have to move it all, which takes ages. I'll probably get a whole truckload, which I think is about 6 cubic meters, so that's going to be a lot of wood to move. No owls yet, as far as I know. I had to replace the branch there. This is the one I had on there before. It was a little bit flimsy. That's a bit more stable for them. I think that's it. It's turning out to be quite a pleasant afternoon.